Good morning, students. The chapter that we have picked up today is part 2 of the chapter Glimpses of India, that is Coorg. So, as we know, that Coorg is a coffee country which is famous for its rainforest and spices. And this country, this is very midway between Mysore and coastal town of Mangalore, the location of the place. The Coorg district of Karnataka, it lies between the towns of Mangalore and Mysore. It is like a heaven on earth, and it is inhabited by martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. Martials means which are having to do with wars. Those people who used to go for wars and they used to do this. So this is the location that midway Mysore and the coastal town of Mangalore there sits a piece of heaven, which we call it as heaven, and we must that must have been drifted from the kingdom of God. They say that it must have been carried away by air from God's kingdom to earth, and this is a kind of a piece of heaven. This land of rolling hills is inhabited by a proud race. So the people who used to live over there, the inhabitants of these are the people who basically of the race of martial men, those people who used to go for the war. And then we have the beautiful women, and this we have wild creatures who are living in Coorg district, in Coorg area. Now coming up to that, Coorg or Kodagu, the smallest district of Karnataka. So it is considered as the smallest district of Karnataka. Then is a home to evergreen rainforest. Evergreen rainforest, you know about it. They continue to remain the same for the whole year, and it is a small district where we would find about the evergreen rainforest. We would find spices, and coffee plantations. Coffee is also being planted over here. Then we have the evergreen rainforest cover 30% of the district. So evergreen rainforest cover 30% of the district. So the district is 30% covered with evergreen rainforest. And now during the time of the monsoons, it pours enough to keep many visitors away. That means it pours into means it rains very heavily. So the visitors remain away from the place for some time during the monsoon time. The visitors don't visit, the tourists don't come over here. The season of joy commences from September. So the joy, the happiness season, which we say the peak season for tourists to come to the place, is from September and it continues till March. The weather is perfect over there that time, with some showers thrown in for good measure. Like some showers means a little rain which adds to the happiness, which adds to the joy, which adds to the beautiful nature of Coorg over there, right? The air breathes of invigorating coffee. Invigorating coffee means like the air which breathes of this. That means that smells, the air smells of this beautiful, which is coffee, which is being made over there. And coffee estates and colonial bungalows stand tucked under the tree canopies in prime corners. Now what is happening is, canopies, you can say, are the roof like coverings that similar like shelter only, right? Shelter form, we have the covering which are the roof, we cover the roof with that. So the air breathes of invigorating coffee. Coffee estates and colonial bungalows stand tucked. Now these coffee estates, we have big coffee estates and the bungalows are over there. Now these bungalows, they stand tucked in between. They stand in between these canopies in the prime corners, in the main corners, in the beautiful place of the city. So this is how they have beautifully described the Coorg, the coffee plantations of Coorg over there at that time. And what what else they talk about is, they talk about the coffee plantations, they talk about the fresh coffee, right? And in the prime corners, the best areas, right? So the fresh coffee that breeds that time, and the big coffee estates, right? There are the big areas where coffee is being grown over their time. And over these estates in colonial bungalows, they stand tucked under the tree canopies in prime corners. Now the fiercely independent people of Coorg are possibly of Greek. The fiercely means that strong, the violent, independent people of Coorg are possibly, they are of Greek or Arabic descent. Descent means they are of Greek or Arabic family of origin. So their origin is from a Greek or Arabic. As one story goes, there is a story about this is, a part of Alexander's army moved south along the coast and settled here. So when Alexander invaded into India, that time there was a part of the army of Alexander who didn't went away. They moved down towards the south along the coast and they settled over here. When return became impractical, that means the return was not realistic. So these people married amongst the locals and their culture is apparent in martial traditions. So these people, they marry the localites over there, and then their culture, it's apparent, that means it's clear, it's visible in the martial traditions. They have the marriages, the religious rites, the religious performances that they are doing, which are distinct from Hindu mainstream. So from the basically the main Hindu mainstream, it is a typical, a little different from that. The theory of Arab origin draws support from long back coat with an embroidered waist belt worn by the Covides, known as kufia. It resembles the kufia worn by Arabs and the Kurds. So this is the traditional Kurgi dress. Basically draws Arab support is there. Basically it is been withdrawn. It's not the typical Hindu type of culture or the tradition like they are wearing upon. It is somewhat mixed with Arab. And what they wear about is the theory Arab origin draws support from the, there is a long black coat with an embroidered waist belt. So they are wearing a waist belt which is embroidered. This waist belt is embroidered. Then after that, it resembles the kufia worn by the Arabs and the Kurds. It remembers, or it comes up with a tradition that the most people follow, and continues over here. It resembles the kufia which is worn by Arabs and Kurds. So this type of dress which we call it as kufia, it is somewhat resembles to kufia which is being worn by Arabs that time. Kurgi homes have a tradition of hospitality. These Kurgi people, the homes, they are having a tradition of hospitality. Hospitality means when you are providing a certain services to people. When hospitality, basically you can call it as Atithi Devo Bhava, and they are the more than willing to recount numerous tales of valor related to their sons and fathers. And yes, these are the people from where we learn about the stories of valor means the courage, bravery, which they usually their sons and their fathers used to go in the wars. The Kurg regiment is the most decorated in Indian army. Indian army is having a separate Kurg regiment, which is the most decorated. And the first chief of Indian army, General Karyappa, was a Kurgi. Even now, Kojavus are the only people in India who are permitted to carry firearms without a license. So even today, we have these Kurgi people who are having the origin of Arabs are the people who are permitted to carry firearms without a license. So this Kurg regiment was having a very kind of disciplined with maximum number of awards and bravery. So they were definitely known as Kurg regiment, which was separate from the others regiment. The river Kaveri obtains its water from hills forest of Kurg Mahasir. A large freshwater fish abound in these waters. So we have the river Kaveri which obtains its water. In the river Kaveri, how the water gets into? It gets into from the hills and the forest of Kurg. Then they have Mahasir. It's a large freshwater lake fish which is abound in these waters. Kingfishers dive for their catch while squirrels and langurs drop partially eaten fruit for the mischief of enjoying the splash and the ripple effect in the clear water. So this is a freshwater lake which is famous mostly for the fish. So what kingfishers used to do is you can see that kingfishers are diving into to catch the fish, and the other animals, squirrels and langurs, they eat some kind of fruit and they drop that partially eaten fruit, आधा खाया हुआ fruit जो है, they drop it in that water, in that lake, in that clear water. And when you drop something in water, you could see the ripples which are being made, the splash. Doing they enjoy these things, the natural beauty. Elephants enjoy being bathed and scrubbed in river by their mahawats, the mahawat, the elephants, the one who rides the elephants. So they are wading into this lake and being scrubbed by the river water by Mahawat. The most laid back individual become converts to the life of high energy adventure. The most laid back individual means a person with a low of energy, have nothing to do, very sad, depressed, maybe not feeling good, not energetic, right? Or being very much occupied with their workaholic nature, with the job and everything, obsessed with all that stuff. That person will convert it into a life. That person will get a life with full of energy when he gets into the adventure of river rafting is there. River rafting is we are traveling in a raft over a river. A platform is being made by the trying planks. There are some platform made and you float over there on a river. So people used to relax over there. Canoeing means there is a large narrow boat and many of the people used to sit and travel in a river. Rappelling means we are going down a cliff by sliding down a rope. We have rock climbing over there and we have mountain biking. Numerous walking trails in this region are a favorite with trekkers. So trekkers are very happy to see these things. There are numerous walking trails. There are the trails of people, path which have been made to walk, and there is the trekking for the biking also, right? And a favorite place for trekkers also. Birds are there, bees, butterflies are there to give you company. Macaws, Malabar squirrels, langurs, slender lories kept a watchful eye from the tree canopy. So they are seeing you people from the tree. Many of the animals are there. I do forever prefer to step aside for wild animals. So the author over is saying is, I would like to stay away from wild elephants. The climb to the Brahmagiri hills brings you into a panoramic view of entire misty landscape of Coorg. If you walk upon, if you move upon, if you trek upon the Brahmagiri hills, if you move up to that hill, and from the top of the hill you could see the panoramic view, the wide range view, the wide area of the land of Coorg. A walk across the rope, excuse me, a walk across the rope bridge. It leads to 64-acre island of Nisar Dhama. So if you walk across a rope bridge which leads to 64-acre island of Nisargama, over that place, it's a kind of the ropeway running into Buddhist monks, you can say, from India's largest Tibetan settlement at nearby Bailakupe is again a bonus to visit. The monks in red ochre and yellow robes, these are the dress that the monks are wearing, are amongst the many surprises that wait to be discovered by visitors. So whenever you come up to visit, you will encounter something different out of the way. Searching for the heart and soul of India, if you look for the heart and soul of India, dil aur uski dhadkan, if you look for India, you can find it right over here in Coorg. So this was the explanation of the chapter, and for today we will end up with the explanation over here only.